What is going on, everyone? I am Dash, and welcome back to Phoenix Wright, Ace Attorney, Trials and Tribulations. Detective Atme claims that he first received a request from Olivia Taylor about 20 days ago. Let's press that statement. You were asked to guard the urn by Miss Adrian Andrews, is that right? Indeed. It seemed that they had heard of my sparkling Is that supposed to be like a portmanteau of his little Zvari statement and sparkling? How would you pronounce that? Sparkling? I see Miss Andrews is still attracting the weirdos. Better watch out too, my... Oh my god. The urn was placed in a box and Zvari was then sent to the warehouse. You mean this box? Yes, that pathetic box. Lady Andrews was especially taken with that urn, and she wouldn't let anyone enter the storeroom, not even me. Interesting new tidbit. I want to see, since Phoenix mentioned that, I wonder if it's going to be involved in another press. See. Hence, I was actually unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. So you're sure that you had never seen the urn before? Indeed. You may ask Lady Andrews to confirm for yourself. My security was focused entirely on the entrance to that warehouse. However, look at me, let no information whatsoever slip through my fingers. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure, so I sent my card 10 days beforehand. Wait, you mean this calling card? That's right! That is, without a doubt, my calling card! I guess Mr. Delight didn't make this after all. Wait, of course, because Atme knew about the emblem. I mean, he has been regardless of murdering and stealing things, he has been after Mask for a while. Making this card authentic would have been child's play to him. I then handled security by myself to ensure that my crime would go smoothly. And no one entered the basement warehouse? Unfortunately, there were many different treasures being taken there. Thus, for a period of approximately 5 days, people were indeed going in and out of the warehouse. Says the judge. You see, that kind of contradicts the whole, let's see, or I guess, Andrews wouldn't let anyone else see the urn, but other stuff was still going in and out. At last, I had the urn in my hands for the first time. It's 1 a.m. on October 12th. And this is the photo that proves that, huh? Indeed, to be honest, even if a photo was taken, I didn't think it would matter terribly much. Hey, Nick, if this photo is a fake, Detective Atme might have stolen the urn whenever this was taken. That's so... is the idea then that he stole the urn long before the 12th? That's true. You know, he's been saying that he never saw the urn until that night. If we can prove that he's lying there, we can wrap this up and put a bow on it. We can take a good hard look at the court record, of course. Not a lot to go on, is there? That detective's been covering his tracks. There's only one thing we need to prove in this cross-examination. That he took this photo well before the actual night of the crime. Alright then, how do we do that? There's one thing that Atme stated very clearly. That he had never seen the urn before he stole it. We need to prove that he's lying. Okay, so... First received the request, so we didn't get anything particular from the press other than that. We got maybe a couple things that were interesting, but not anything to really present against. So let's check the court record. See. That's an idea, actually. The treasure exhibit poster. I think I have an idea, because Andrews broke it and it would look different, so he would have only had this to go on if he had never actually seen it before. So he would think it was the wrong one. I'm thinking maybe that might be the thing we present. See, let's just take a look at the rest of the stuff we've got, but I don't know what statement to present it against just yet. Just keep looking through this stuff, see if there's anything else. I'm guessing it's gonna be the poster, or the urn itself. I don't think it's gonna be the newspaper clipping, it's not gonna be the buzzer. It's not gonna be Kane's list. It's not gonna be the buzzer record, let's see, it's not gonna be the testimony. Let's see, it was kept out of sight, so it's gonna be either the urn itself or the, or the poster. Let's see, let me look through the statements. See, I was unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime. I think that might be the statement we present against. So I'm going to present both the poster and the urn. The music kept going on the poster. This statement is clearly faulty, so that's not it. Let's try the urn itself. Nope, not it. There's the statement is faulty. Okay, let's just look at some other statements. I knew it was an extremely valuable treasure. See, again, I'm gonna take another say. Let's maybe try both of them on this particular statement. It's not gonna be the poster. I think this statement's faulty. Let's present the urn itself. Again, not it. Whoops, I don't know what I just apparently paused the emulator somehow. I handled security myself. I held the urn in my hands for the first time at 1 a.m. I'm gonna go back, I think, and press these first two statements since we got the interesting thing in the third one. Or you asked to guard the urn by Miss Adrian Andrews, is that right? So I'm gonna take a quick break and I'm gonna go through these in super fast mode, and if something different comes up, I'll mention it. Alright, I'm back. There was nothing else in those pressing stuff, so I started to present some different stuff. So I decided to present the mass calling card on the I was unable to see the urn for myself until the day of the crime message, because of the little line that says, "Take good care of the speckled urn, won't you?" So how would he know it was speckled if he hasn't actually seen it? And that was it. So, Mr. Atme, if you really are a Master Mask, then you also wrote this calling card, correct? But of course! Is there a problem with that calling card? Allow me to read a passage from the calling card that Master Mask had written. Take good care of the speckled urn. Now, the speckled here surely refers to this pink pattern on the sacred urn. Yes, that's true, but so what? Truth be told, there is no way that Master Mask could have known about this pattern. What do you mean? This pink spotted pattern on the urn is actually nothing more than paint stains. Paint stains! And these stains did not appear until after the urn had been taken to Lordly Taylor. He's fuming and he grabs a cup of coffee. I'm not finding this joke to be very funny, Mr. Trite. The day that the sacred urn was taken to the warehouse, the urn was broken due to human error, or should I say, an error-prone human. And that's when the pink paint got on the urn. You can't be serious. And yet this calling card clearly mentions the paint pattern. Which means Detective Atme had seen this urn long before the crime had ever took place. In fact, he saw it when this fake photo was taken. And because this photo is a fake, your alibi for the night of the murder no longer holds water. Witness, do you have anything to say for yourself? Alright, that did it. He's broken. Nick, I think it's still a little early for a victory pose. Huh? Because Cadeau's still drinking coffee. It's so sad. No one has any conviction these days. Conviction, you say? Yesterday we all decided unanimously that this man was Master Mask, and now we're calling him a murderer. You don't think we're being a tad fickle? But that's a good point. No, wait, don't fall for that too, Your Honor. You say that Luke Atme was the one who killed Kane Bullard. Let me ask you this. Why would he do that? An excellent point! Exclamation point. Motive, Mr. Wright, motive. Might you, my merry murderous motive manifest. Jesus Christ, the alliteration. Nick, just getting a second wind. You've written out by impinges crime over on the light, as you say. You must have a very strong motive for murder. The only one with any motive we've seen is Ron the Light. Isn't that right, detective? Indeed! Or wait, what was that voice? Indeed, according to my own research, the boy's motive is clear. Without a motive, it's nearly impossible to prove guilt in a murder case. Now then, maybe you can enlighten us to what the defendant's motives were. What? I completely blanked on what voice I used for him. Thank you, Sir Old-Timer. Doing everything they can to make Ron look suspicious, despite our lack of hard information. This may be our only chance. So we're getting another testimony, witness testimony, motive for murder. I, Luke Atme, had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Campbell decided to investigate Master Mask and simply mistook who he was. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron the Light. It was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. Delight for his betrayal. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Master Mask. That is why Mr. Delight saw it fit to kill Kane Bullard. Truly a tragedy. I'm guessing Kane's list is going to come up here. So the victim, Kane Bullard, blackmailed the defendant. This is the blackmail letter found in the defendant's apartment. The handwriting test confirms that Mr. Bullard was indeed the one who wrote the letter. What? Blackmail letter was updated in the court record. Very well, Mr. Wright, begin your cross-examination. I have a cross-examination for motive for murder. Aye, Luke Atme had no points of contact with the victim whatsoever. Let's press. Who in the world is going to prove that? I will! Let's say exclamation point. After doing a thorough background check of Detective Atme and Kane Bullard, we were unable to find any links between them. It's all in the report. Oh, why didn't I see this report? Perhaps they were connected through their work. They were both involved in security. Nope. That was blunt. In any case, the only one with a motive was Mr. Delight. Kane Bullard decided to investigate Master Mask and simply mistook who he was. Mistook? That's right, mistook. From the old Norse mistaka, meaning to take an error. Yes, we don't need an etymology. That wasn't what I meant. Just who does the victim mistake Master Mask to be? Why, the answer is obvious. Ron the Light, of course. Well, I'd like to wipe that smug look off this guy's face. Yeah, I'm gonna press harder. I'm gonna take a state first. Why would the victim mistake the defendant for Master Mask? Don't you already know that? Sorry. Take a look at this newspaper. Oh, that's the famous Terror magnificent jewel. That photo shows a magnificent detective as well, does it not? And Master Mask. Furthermore, it also shows an ugly guard, namely the defendant. That was Hemi's voice. The defendant. Let's see. So he knows. The victim clearly misread this article and got the wrong impression. The impression that this ugly security guard was in fact Master Mask. I see. That was an unusually reasonable deduction. It was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter and sent it to Ron the Light. I mean this blackmail letter right here. It says, bring $50,000. And the handwriting is without a doubt the victim's. There's no mistake. We have an official report to prove it. But I don't see any address C on this letter anywhere. Address C? This letter was discovered around the Light's apartment. But it could have been planted. After all, the one who's got the red jewel is at me. And Mr. Delight did show up at the designated place and time. The fact that there is no address C is irrelevant. I wonder. What's up, Nick? I just had a thought. What if that blackmail letter wasn't meant for Mr. Delight? Oh, do you have any evidence of that? For some reason, I just can't shake the feeling. There's something not quite right about this blackmail letter. Well, everyone, are you quite satisfied? So... And it was again Mr. Bullard who harbored a grudge against Mr. Delight for his betrayal. See, Mr. Bullard wrote the blackmail and sent it to Ron Delight. Let's see, I'm gonna keep pressing stuff, but I'm thinking the blackmail letter itself might be our evidence whenever we get around to it. What do you mean by that? Oh my, I was certain you were already aware. Sorry. The KB Security has a lot of security info on all sorts of companies, and since I was a security team chief, I stole data from the company. Greenboard had yet to forgive young Mr. Delight, which is why he sent him that letter upon mistakenly believing he was the thief. Here's a file we discovered in Mr. Bullard's office. Evidence that Mr. Bullard was receiving money through blackmail. However, isn't this a bit odd? Why did the defendant pay Mr. Bullard the money, even though he wasn't actually Master Mask? On that point, there was an unfortunate bit of chance. Mr. Bullard's mistake is quite excusable. The defendant truly believes he is Master Mask. Do you really think that story is going to hold up? That assertion is not merely my own, I'm afraid. What do you mean? I have here a memo from Wonder Light's wife, Desiree Delight. Okay, this is new. Ronnie thinks he's Master Mask, it says. Don't you feel sorry for him? Please don't think too badly of him. Well, Mr. Trite. Was he trying to act like Mr. Light just now? I thought he was actually pretty convincing. It makes sense considering I did the voice for him. That is why Mr. Light saw fit to kill King Bullard. Truly a tragedy. No, that's just your imagination talking. Come now, sir lawyer. I'm afraid imagination isn't the right word for it. This is a deduction, the result of carefully applied reasoning. And we have that careful reasoning for ourselves. It's a long story, and better save for another time. Very well, another time. Those so-called long stories aren't usually all that long. At least not in my experience. So you're going to try to connect Detective Happy and Mr. Bullard, right? Yeah, that's right. Hopefully it won't require surgery either. God. In that case, we have to talk about the blackmail. It's true. Is that blackmail letter really intended for Ron? Since we didn't have enough information, you should press him for more testimony. We're really able to shake some contradictions loose that way. Okay. So, Maya says press him more. I'm again going to just put on fast forward mode and take a break and see if we get more testimony to present the thing about the red gem. Alright, well, I went through the whole press cycle a couple of times and didn't get anything else, so it looks like the statements we have are what we got. So I'm going to present the blackmail letter against it was Mr. Bullard who wrote the blackmail letter statement, and then the one after that. Okay, it was that one. What if I ask you a few questions, Detective Atme? Well, if it's just a few, I guess it's alright. You said that this letter was addressed to Ron Delight. I'm going to help but notice one major contradiction. Contradiction? I don't know where a walking contradiction like you gets off saying things like that. You're one to talk. Times like these, men are made to express themselves with their fists. Why don't you show us what you've got there, Junior? Indeed, turn the man up, Mr. Wright. Show us the contradicting evidence in the content of the blackmail letter. What? Okay, so we have... See, I'm thinking maybe... Thinking maybe it's a profile of Acme himself. I'm gonna take a state first.
Take that!
Ah! Hold on a second. Alright, I'm back. I ordered a pizza before I started, and it got here a little faster than I expected. So, Godot says, a little 2-1 punch like that wouldn't even faze me. I think you mean 1-2 punch. Mr. Wright, I think you things through a little more finding fault with others. Hey, ouch, I sure felt that punch, Your Honor. Right, let's try reading the blackmail letter one more time. There's gotta be something off about it somewhere. Very well then, when this please receive just okay, so it takes me back to the the testimony. That's the state. The contradicting evidence in the blackmail letter. Whoop, and I clicked off the window. So let's read it. Don't want your true identity revealed to the world. I feel like it's gonna be a profile. 1 a.m. on October 12th. Let's see. If you don't, I'll take that red diamond you received the other day instead. Let's see. Maybe the Mask's profile?
Take that!
So that's the same little deal. Let's maybe run the light. I doubt it. No, let's see. Godot says a little 2-1 punch. What if I just present the blackmail letter itself? Let's see. A little 2-1 punch. Let's see. So it's probably not a profile. Maybe Kane's list? A little 2-1 punch. There's gotta be something in here, but the fact that there's a the fact that it lets me leave this if I fail tells me that might not actually be the case. Camera data, security camera photo, maybe Ron's wallet. A little 2-1 punch. Well, it was in fact the newspaper clipping. I don't know exactly what is up with it, but let's present it. Phoenix says, take a good look at this newspaper clipping. It contains a picture of the Tear of Eminon, the stolen jewel. Well, what about it? The problem is this jewel's color. Color! I'm not much for discussing color myself. According to the clipping, the color of the stolen jewel was blue. However, in the blackmail letter, a totally different jewel is mentioned. Take that red diamond you received the other day. So, are these supposed to be connected? Red! Which means, the red diamond described in the blackmail letter is not the Tear of Eminon the Master stole at all. Was someone asserting that? And your point is, Mr. Trite, so you're trying to say that this blackmail letter was intended for someone else. That is what you're trying to say, right, Trite? That is what you're trying to say, right, Mr. Wright? Well, that is what you're trying to say, right, Nick? Yes. This is who Campbell was actually blackmailing. It's gonna be at me, but I'm going to... Whoop. And I'm trying to open the freaking a new ROM. See, let's load a state before we do it, but we're gonna do it. Naturally, it was you, Detective Atme. Do you have some sort of basis for that claim? You have been personally involved in every single Master Mask case, and in the last case, you recovered what was stolen. and received a jewel as your reward. A jewel? Probably the one wrapped conspicuously around your finger. That red diamond ring that he's been showing off all game. I knew that had something to do with it, but it took us so long to get around to it. That is the diamond referred to in the letter, which means the Cane Bowler wrote that letter in order to blackmail you. Ah! Order the court! Order, I say! It seems you've gone too far with your childish pranks, Mr. Trite. Uh-oh, I don't like the way he said that. Cane Bowler blackmailing Luke at me? Are you for real? Yes, I am. Hey, come on, stand up to him. And answer me this. The blackmail letter contains the following passage. You don't want your identity revealed to the world. Yes, it certainly does. Cane Bowler threatened to make Luke Acme's identity public knowledge. An identity he wanted to keep a secret. So just what was that identity? I actually don't have any idea. If he's not Master Mask, Acme killed Cane Bowler because he was afraid of his secret becoming known. What was the identity he wanted to keep secret? This is what it all comes down to, Nick. See, Jesus, they're taking a big portion of homework. The identity that Luke Acme wanted to so desperately keep secret was his identity as an ace detective, Master Mask, or a blackmailer. I don't like any of these options. Wait. Oh my god. I just realized it. The answer is a blackmailer, remember? So, the impression I was getting when we thought that Bowler was blackmailing, was blackmailing, Delight over he was the one who was sending him the letter, you know, it made sense that he would blackmail Delight for the robberies, the thefts, the stealings, whatever you want to call them. But in fact, it wasn't Bullard who was blackmailing him for those. It was Acme. Acme figured out his identity on that first newspaper clipping case with the Tear of Eminence, and then started to blackmail Master Mask or Ron. I mean, they're the same person for the rest of them. And the Kane's list wasn't stuff that he was blackmailing Ron Delight about. It was stuff that Acme was blackmailing Delight about, and Kane had figured out. So, I'm almost positive that's it. See, and so I guess the idea was, Bowler wasn't blackmailing Delight in order to get him to steal the stuff. It was Acme blackmailing him so that he keeps stealing stuff so that he had his job as the ace detective still. Did I already take a state? I have no idea. I'm going to take another one, but it's a blackmailer. This is where things get serious. Luke Acme was a blackmailer. Exclamation point, Godot's objecting. Hey now, isn't that a little different from what you've been saying? You said that Cane Bowler was the one blackmailing Luke Acme. Are you saying that Acme was blackmailing someone else on top of that? You have to admit, that does sound a little odd. It's not odd. It's the only thing that makes any sense. Cane Bowler was blackmailing Luke Acme. But Ron Delight was also being blackmailed by a certain someone. So did you start to receive blackmailers starting after this incident? Yes, just a few days after the Tear of Eminence heist. After that, I started getting the plans in the mail. I received plans from some very kind person, incredibly detailed plans. Detailed plans? In which case, that would mean that Ron Delight was actually Master Mask. That is what we are claiming. Someone else came up with the plans to have Mr. Delight steal his targets for him. And that someone was none other than Luke Acme. Shh! Silence! Now I see, it's all becoming clear. What is? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Careless, with the tendency to jump to conclusions. Am I wrong? How did you... You say that I, Luke Catney, was blackmailing Ron the Light? In which case, I would naturally know all about his relation to Max the Mask. Well, yes. Ron the Light started receiving plans from his second crime onward, correct? Which means I learned of his identity when he committed that first crime. Good point, you certainly couldn't have blackmailed him otherwise. And that's also specifically why he chose to frame him for the murder. In that case, let's see some hot, bitter evidence. During the first crime, how did Luke Catney know that Ron the Light was Master Mask? It's gonna be the newspaper clipping again, because they were right there. Let's take a state. Well, let's present the newspaper clipping. I think I see it. See what? When you were in grade school, you received the same report card every year. Gets into lots of mischief. Gets into lots of mischief trying to be the center of attention. What do you mean? This newspaper clipping. It has a picture of you and Ron the Light in his guard uniform. Seems the Master Mask didn't just disappear into thin air. He just took off his outfit and hid it in a bucket. That sounds far too stupid to be true. Correct. With tricks like that, he couldn't fool a baby, let alone an ace detective. That's when you figured it out, Mr. Atme. That's when you learned that under his mask, Master Mask was really Ron the Light. What the? Wasn't he supposed to be Master Mask? A bunch of people say. Not only that, it looks like he wasn't even an ace detective. I can't believe it. He was just a slimy blackmailer. What a fraud. Trying to pass himself off as an ace detective. ... Why, you! How dare you expose me like that? ... Why, I mean, I've never blackmailed anyone in my life. I'm a famous and proud ace detective, and also a Master Mask. Why can't you understand that? I'm afraid you are neither a proud thief nor an ace detective. You're a blackmailer and a murderer. That is your true identity. Why, you? How dare you? I'm not reading this. You can read it on screen yourself. So, is this the end of the case, I guess? It's when we finally got into the real answer. That was quite a performance by Mr. Atme. Wait then, please prepare yourself for Mr. Atme. The hammer that strikes too fast has no time to aim. Well, what do you mean? I'm already prepared to deliver my sentence. I mean to say one thing. I will be the one to judge. You're the prosecutor, not the judge. Exclamation point! You don't get much more in your face than that. It appears your claws weren't quite sharp enough, Mr. Trident. What? Where do you... It's true that you've proven a lot of things. Things like Luke Catney was a filthy blackmailer, and that he wasn't at Lord Taylor the night of the murder. That's right. That's why he's the one who killed Mr. He's going to say I haven't proved that yet. But there's still one thing you have yet to prove. What's that? Just because he wasn't at the warehouse doesn't mean he was at the murder scene. Therefore, if you can't prove that this pitiful excuse for a man was at KB security, I don't see how a verdict can be delivered. No way.